The other thing people sometimes have problems with, they've done everything right to this point, now it's time to water them in a little bit. And we want to be so nice to them and water them in good, and we really blast them if we get the soil too wet. You're going to need a water breaker of some sort. These that we have here, they have over 1,000 holes in that head, so it's a very fine one. But this will be kind of a softer stream for it. I'm just going to go over it and go over it and let any water on the top settle down in again. And then I'll probably go over it one more time. And that's about all we're going to need to get these seeds up and germinated. If you feel them, they're heavier, but they're not waterlogged. Then we get to where some of the problems start with people, and that's your growing environments and things. Most of these seeds like to germinate 70 up to 80 degrees, and a lot of times in our bright windows and basements or wherever we're doing that, we're not getting that temperature up enough. And a real economical thing we have, and I really like these are seedling mats or seed starter mats. They're about $39, but they'll hold two full trays on each one. They will last years and years, but what they do is keep the temperature of your soil about 10 degrees higher than your air temperature. So, you know, if it's 65, 68 in your house, your soil's going to be up there in the 70s that it likes to germinate. And they just plug in. They're very low power use, so they're not going to hurt anything. This is all waterproof. You know, make sure wherever you plug it in that you're not going to have water running down to it. But you'd have your seedling mat down, and we have these clear plastic domes. They're the same size. These are a great help to keep that moisture up for sprouting. I might as well leave it on there. We'll do the whole show at home. I don't think many of you probably have heated greenhouses, but we're going to be doing it inside. So the brightest area you can, and a lot of times we even need supplemental light to grow inside with. And you may want to do it a little bit fancier. I just set this up in about 2 minutes just to give you an example. Probably the most commonly used lights are going to be fluorescents. You do want to make sure that when you buy the bulb, they are either grow bulb or full spectrum. You want to get those types. Those cool bulbs and those types, they don't have that full spectrum of light that the plant needs from natural sunlight. They tend to be more of the blue colors. So we want to be sure and get either specifically grow or full spectrum, so that way they get the whole scheme of things. The other thing people tend to do wrong that do use lighting like this, you fail to realize how close we actually need it to be to those plants. And this, other than the fact my shelves move, this wouldn't be that practical. A chain would be better that I could raise and lower. Ideally, we want to keep those fluorescent bulbs a couple of inches above the top of the plant. And as the plant grows a little bit, we raise it up and raise it up. As we go out, the light, especially from fluorescence, it's bright, but it is not an intense or strong light. If you were to use a light meter, if you get a foot away from it and use a light meter, you're almost getting no reading compared to if you were up close to it. So it's very, very critical to do that. If you don't have enough light, that's again where we tend to get the really tall plants that fall over and get real soft and stretchy. So I'd have my mat going. I would have my seed tray right up under here. You know, we're maybe an inch or so high, but not too bad right now. As soon as I saw any sprouting, we take the cover off, and then as they grew, raising the light. That's about everything we need environmentally and physically to grow those guys.